Welcome to The Explainer, where we make complex topics simple. Today, we're diving headfirst into the world of marketing. And you know what? We're going to tackle the jargon, that language that can make the whole field feel like some exclusive club with a secret handshake.
Right? If you've ever sat in a meeting and felt like you were drowning in an alphabet soup of acronyms, I promise you are not alone. It's so common, this constant stream of letters that marketers just seem to throw around.
But here's the thing. Getting a handle on this language, it isn't just about trying to impress your colleagues. It is absolutely essential if you want to make smart decisions that actually grow a business. So, let's translate it. Let's dive in.
Now, to make sense of it all, we're not just going to give you a boring dictionary list. No, we're going to follow a map. And that map is the journey a customer takes with a business. We'll introduce each term right when it matters, from getting their attention to turning them into leads, building a relationship, and finally, figuring out if any of it worked.
Okay, first things first. You've got to get on people's radar. Before you can sell a thing, you have to attract an audience, right? You need to bring them to your digital doorstep, whether that's your website, your blog, whatever it is. So how do people find you out there in the vastness of the internet? Well, it really boils down to two main ways. First, there's SEO, or search engine optimization. This is all about getting your website to show up high in the natural, unpaid search results. The other way is PPC, or pay-per-click. That's where you're actually paying for ads to appear. So you can think of it as earning attention versus buying it.
And what's the fuel for both good SEO and effective PPC? It's content marketing. This is just creating and sharing genuinely helpful stuff. You know, blog posts, videos, guides, things that don't just scream buy now, but actually provide real value. It's what draws people in and starts building trust, positioning you as an authority.
All right, so your great content worked. You've got a visitor on your site. Fantastic. But now what? Getting them there is really only half the battle. Now it's all about encouraging them to take a very specific action.
And that usually starts with a CTA, a call to action. That's the button or the link that pretty much tells the user exactly what you want them to do next. It's the download now, the sign up here, the thing that turns them from a passive browser into an active participant. And where does that CTA usually lead? To a landing page. Now, unlike a home page that's got links to everything, a landing page is super focused. It has one and only one job to get that user to do the thing the CTA promised. We call that a conversion.
And how do we know if that page is any good? We measure its conversion rate. It's simple, really. It's just the percentage of people who visited the page and actually did the thing you wanted them to do. A high rate? Awesome. It's working. A low one? Well, that tells you it's time to go back to the drawing board.
So once somebody converts, they're not just an anonymous visitor anymore. They're a lead. And this is where we shift our thinking. From just getting a one-time click to actually building a real, lasting relationship.
But here's the catch. Not all leads are created equal. Someone who downloads a simple checklist isn't the same as someone asking for a price quote. So marketing nurtures these leads, warming them up until they look like a really good fit. Then they become an MQL, a marketing qualified lead. And once they show they're ready to talk business, they graduate to an SQL, a sales qualified lead, and get handed over to the sales team.
So how on earth do you keep track of all this? That's where a CRM comes in. A customer relationship management system is basically the brain of the whole operation. It's the central hub that logs every single interaction, every email, every call, every click, giving you a complete story of that customer's journey.
And to make sure that handoff from marketing to sales goes smoothly, because let's be honest, it doesn't always. Smart companies use an SLA, or service level agreement. You can think of it like a peace treaty between the two teams. It clearly lays out what marketing promises to deliver and what sales promises to do in return. It keeps everyone on the same page.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. This vocabulary, it isn't just insider jargon. It's the shared language that lets different parts of the company, marketing, sales, even customer service, all work together towards the same goal: growing the business.
Okay, so you're attracting people, you're converting them into leads, you're nurturing them into loyal customers, but how do you know if all this hard work is actually paying off? Well, you have to measure it. And that brings us to our final stage and our last batch of acronyms.
What's really cool here is how these three terms work together. You've got your KPIs, key performance indicators. These are your big picture goals. Two of the most critical KPIs for any business are ROI and CAC. ROI, or return on investment, asks a simple question. Are you making more money than you're spending? And CAC, customer acquisition cost, tells you exactly how much it costs, on average, to get one new customer.
But you know, success isn't always just about the money. You also have to measure loyalty. And that's where the NPS, or Net Promoter Score, comes in. It boils down to one simple but incredibly powerful question. How likely are you to recommend us to a friend?
The score is pretty simple to figure out. You basically group your customers. Anyone who gives you a 9 or 10 is a promoter. They love you. Anyone from 0 to 6 is a detractor. Your final NPS is just the percentage of those happy promoters minus the percentage of detractors. It's a fantastic snapshot of how your customers really feel.
So there you have it. From SEO to ROI, you've got the map. You could navigate the language of marketing. But of course, this world never, ever stands still. With AI changing how content gets made and search itself evolving, the language is going to evolve right along with it. Which leaves us with a final question to chew on. What's the next big acronym we're all going to have to learn?